What's going on? My name is FreeRunnerX10 and today I thought I'd take a look at a brand new free-to-play online first-person shooter. It's currently in open beta, it just went into open beta. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to check this game out for yourself, have a play around with it, see if you enjoy it or not, but this is my sort of review and first impressions of this game. So the game's called Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex First Assault Online. Now the company that's developing this game, Neopol, don't have a huge portfolio of games that they've worked on or that they've created themselves. In fact, they've only worked on 2 games in the past. One of them is called Ciphers Online. It's kind of a MOBA third-person game where you just battle it out as various different classes on various different maps, and Dungeon Fighter Online, which is a sort of 2D side-scrolling dungeon beat-em-up. These are completely different games. They sort of fall in line with each other, but it's completely different genres to what they're trying to achieve here. They're trying to achieve a first-person shooter, an online first-person shooter game, and for a first attempt it's not bad. I'll give them credit for that, but there are a few underlying problems with this game, and I'll get into a bit more detail on that later on in the video. Now, as for the publisher is Nexon. Now, Nexon is a huge company that publish free-to-play PC and mobile games. They have like loads of subsidiary companies. They publish in Europe, North America, even on Asian markets. They're primarily known for the Asian market. They produce a lot of games, so for example like Counter-Strike Online, Counter-Strike Online 2, Combat Arms, Mabinogi, Vindictus, MapleStory, Atlantica Online. There's a load of games that they've published, and a lot of those games are very similar, and that's the kind of problem that you have with these sort of Nexon free-to-play online first-person shooter games, and I'll get into that later on in the video. But yeah, in case you're wondering, Nexon published this game. Now, for anyone out there that actually knows what Ghost in the Shell is, which in fact it's a manga which was then turned into an anime movie, which has then since had a few series. If you're interested in Ghost in the Shell as an anime and manga, then you'll probably enjoy this game. You'll get all the references, you'll know who the characters are, and you'll probably understand what's going on as far as abilities and whatnot, other than the basic understanding. You've probably seen it in the anime or in the manga, but as a IP for a game, it has potential. I have to say that Ghost in the Shell has potential to be a great first-person shooter as a game, but in this instance, that potential is wasted. It has become what I would class as the next generation of free-to-play online first-person shooters, and that's not a good thing. Basically, what that means is it's become a first-person shooter that has been done many times. So, for example, Call of Duty just reskinned. That's basically what this kind of next generation of first-person shooters are. Originally, games back in the early 2000s that were free-to-play online first-person shooters, we're talking Crossfire, Combat Arms, they were sort of based off Counter-Strike, and now people have got this idea that they want a free-to-play version of Call of Duty, and it's become a popular thing, and now these free-to-play companies that make these free-to-play games have decided to make games that are inspired by Call of Duty and Battlefield, and so they all are very similar, and like I said, the potential is pretty much wasted here, but it does have potential. Now, the gameplay. If you've played one of these so-called next generation free-to-play online first-person shooters, then you've basically played Ghost in the Shell. The only thing this game does to separate itself from these other free-to-play first-person shooters is allow you to select a character which is called an operative that has a special ability that you can use on the battlefield, and that's been done before. Dirty Bomb does this. The only difference between this game and Dirty Bomb is Dirty Bomb allows you to use cards to change your loadout. It's all very generic and boring. As for the mechanics of the game, when I first started playing the game, it felt very sluggish, and I don't know, I just didn't really like the movement. I got used to it, and once I got used to it, it felt fine and the game felt normal. There is a problem with hit detection, depending on what servers you're playing on, whether that server's performing well or whether it's not. You will notice some kind of latency between kills being registered. So for example, you'll take a shot, you'll kill that person, but it'll take a sort of millisecond to a second for that kill to register. It's really weird. I can't really describe it other than it just seems like your shots are lagging. It's really weird. But other than that, it's just a generic first-person shooter. Now, other than the gameplay being very generic, the one big problem with this game is it takes a lot of time to unlock certain things. When you're playing the game, you have to play with a certain weapon to unlock certain attachments for that weapon, and even then you have to play 4 to 5 games to unlock something, even longer than that sometimes. When you first start the game, you select one operative and then you're locked out of using any other operative until you get like 250 something GP, which is in-game money that you earn from playing the game, to unlock a second slot to have a second operative. It's kind of a real pain in the backside. You have to invest a lot of time into this game in order to actually get what you want to use in the game. So when you first start playing the game, it's best to pick an operative that you want to use and you won't get bored of, I guess. Other than that, you have to grind to unlock attachments for various different weapons, but if you want to, you can spend real money in the cash shop. Nexon have their own currency called NX, which you purchase with real money, and then you use that to unlock various different things like weapons, camos, operative slots, various different things that are available in the game. I haven't really worked out whether it's pay to win. So far it seems to be right now it's pay to progress, but that could change in the future. Combat Arms, when that first came out, was pay to progress, and eventually Nexon turned that into a cash grab pay to win game, which was unfortunate. So I hope this game doesn't go down that road. Now this game actually has a unique feature that's trying to separate itself from various other generic free-to-play first-person shooters, and that is allowing you, the player, to choose an operative or a character. Now this character has a special ability. Now currently, as of making this review slash first impressions video, there's 6 characters in the game, all with varied abilities. They're all based off characters from the manga and anime. For example, Motoku, who is the character I chose and I'm playing as right now, who's the main character in the anime and manga, has an ability that allows her to go invisible for a period of time. Of course, it's not completely invisible, it's sort of like invisible from a distance. If you get too close to people, they will notice you and you will stick out and they will kill you. So they all have benefits and weaknesses, but the problem is when you choose a character, you're going to have to play with that character for a long time because you're going to have to grind. Like I said previously, a lot of this game revolves around you constantly playing in order to actually get somewhere with it. So you're going to have to grind out a lot of GP, which is the in-game currency you earn from playing the game, to unlock an extra character slot, which is kind of unfortunate. Now, this game has a variety of different weapons. You have assault rifles, machine guns, shotguns, sniper rifles, submachine guns, secondary firearms, so we're talking pistols, melee, and throwing. Now when you're actually playing the game, you have 3 sort of loadout bags, F1, F2 and F3, and when you die and you're on the sort of respawn screen, you can press F1, F2 and F3 to switch between your loadouts. Now you can only take in 1 primary weapon, 1 secondary, 1 melee and 1 throwing object, and unfortunately you only get like 1 grenade of each, so that's kind of weird. I thought they would have allowed you to have 2 of each grenade or a mixture of grenades, but it's basically just a generic first person shooter sort of loadout selection. Now what this game actually has, which is kind of different from a few other online first person shooter games, is instead of buying a gun with a scope and that gun has certain attachments on, you can customize your gun however you want. So you can put various different scopes on, various different suppressors, barrels, grips, stocks, camos. Unfortunately, some of this stuff can only be purchased using NX, which is obviously the in-game microtransaction currency, but most of it can be unlocked by playing the game, like I said, grinding, and then you obviously unlock GP, and then you buy attachments and customize your gun that way. But obviously, like I said, this game's about grinding, so it takes a lot of time to unlock these various different things. As of right now, there's only 3 game modes: Team Deathmatch, Terminal Conquest, and Demolition. For Team Deathmatch, 2 teams fight it out. Each kill is worth 100 points, and it's the first team to 10,000 points that wins the match. There's 5 maps available to play as of right now: Port, Dubbing Site, Neon Ruins, PSS 9, and Downtown Dejima. Don't know how you pronounce that. The next game mode, Terminal Conquest, is basically tug of war. There are points from A to E. 1 team spawns at B, 1 team spawns at D, and you have to capture a point to push the enemy team back. There's only 1 point available to capture each time. So for example, if your team captures B and you push the enemy back to C, and then you capture C, the enemy will be pushed back to D, and etc, etc. It's the first team to get 5 terminals that wins the game, or if you manage to have a complete and utterly destructive force, you can take all the terminals without the enemy even trying and win the game by obviously taking all their terminals. Now there's only 3 maps of that mode: District Ruins, Cyber Ward, and Underground Base, which is a prototype map. Then you've got Demolition. In Demolition, 2 teams take turns attacking or defending objectives on the map. Basically, if you defend the objective, you get 1 point if you win that round, and if you're attacking the objective and you blow up the objective, you get 1 point, and it's the first team to 6 points. There are 3 maps: PSS 9, Downtown Dejima, I don't know how you pronounce that, I apologize for that, and Geofront. So that's pretty much it for my first impression / review of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex First Assault Online. They really need to shorten the title of that game because that is too much to say in one sentence. But anyway, yeah, it's just a generic first-person shooter. So if you're into generic first-person shooters, sci-fi shooters, or if you're into the Ghost in the Shell anime and manga, you might like this game. But for me, someone who plays a lot of first-person shooters, it's just a clone of things that I've already played, and so it's not all that interesting. It has quite a lot of customization and features that a lot of people will enjoy and like, and it looks really good. It's genuinely a decent looking game, although my current settings don't really show that off because I'm trying to get the best FPS possible and record the game at the same time, so I do apologize for that. Yeah, it is a stunning little thing if you're into that kind of game, but for me it's something that I'm not overly keen on. Now, as for the IP itself, like I said, they could have done so much more for that IP. They could have made this game a lot better, but instead they tried to go with the same formula for every single free-to-play online first-person shooter, and this is the end product. So, you know, there is hope for this game. Hopefully the developers, you know, make it unique, but as of right now, it's not something that I'm willing to invest time in playing because, like I said, I've already played games like this before, so there's no real point. But again, if you enjoy that kind of thing, then you'll enjoy this game. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video.